You know that strange, almost electric moment when life feels like it is quietly rearranging itself behind the scenes? When something inside you whispers, "Pay attention, your reality is about to change." Maybe you've felt it recently, a restlessness in your chest, a sense that the world you've been living in no longer matches the person you are becoming. Maybe relationships feel different. Maybe your usual routines feel out of place. Maybe you've been waking up with questions that weren't there before, and you can't explain it, but it feels like the universe is studying you, almost as if the quantum field itself has turned its gaze toward you, waiting to see what you'll choose next. If that resonates, listen closely, because this message didn't find you by accident. This is your moment of recognition, your moment of alignment, your moment of being seen by the very field that creates reality. And when the quantum field sees you differently, everything, truly everything, shifts instantly. Not gradually, not someday, but in the exact moment your internal frequency transforms. People think manifestation is about effort, about forcing, about repeating affirmations until you're out of breath. But the truth is far more mysterious, far more elegant, and far more powerful. Reality shifts the moment you shift. Not when you demand it, not when you chase it, but when you become the person the quantum field recognizes as the vibration of what you desire. That's why you've been feeling this pull lately. This subtle but undeniable sense that something is awakening inside you. It's because the field is recalibrating how it sees you. Your energy signature has begun to change, and the universe is responding. But here's the part most people never hear. The shift doesn't start externally. It starts with one deeply emotional, nearly invisible moment when your consciousness reaches a new frequency and the universe says, "Ah, I see you now." Let's go deeper, because once you understand why the quantum field sees you differently, you'll understand how to step into the life that's been waiting for you all along, already integrated above, emotional, painful, curiosity-driven, connected to the title. If this message resonates with you, make sure to subscribe. This journey is just beginning. There comes a moment in every awakened person's life when they stop living as a reaction and start living as a frequency. That moment often begins with pain, the collapse of something that used to feel stable, a chapter closing without your permission, a quiet sense of loss that others can't quite understand. You may have felt it recently, a sense that your old identity can't contain who you're becoming, almost like you're shedding a version of yourself that no longer carries truth. If so, you're not breaking down, you're tuning up, because pain, especially emotional pain, increases coherence, it sharpens awareness, it rearranges priorities, it forces you to look where you've been afraid to look, and the quantum field responds not to your words, not to your desires, but to your inner coherence. When the noise inside quiets, even for a moment, the field perceives you with unbelievable clarity. Think of it this way: every thought you think, every emotion you hold, every belief you repeat, sends a signal into the fabric of the universe. Most people send mixed signals. They want abundance, but vibrate fear. They want love, but vibrate unworthiness. They want change, but vibrate doubt. So the quantum field doesn't see them clearly. The frequency is distorted, fragmented, mismatched. But when someone begins to awaken, really awaken, something changes. The signal becomes stronger, cleaner, more coherent. And that's when the field recognizes you. That's when it reclassifies you. That's when your reality begins bending around your vibration. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. And right now you're becoming someone new, someone clearer, someone more aligned, someone the universe can finally lock on to. And this is why everything around you has felt off. lately? You're no longer matching the vibration of your old life. The field has already begun rearranging your reality. You're just catching up. Desire, the hidden truth about being seen by the field. Let me tell you something most people never understand. The moment your frequency becomes coherent with your desired reality, the universe rearranges itself instantly. Not slowly, not conditionally, not when you deserve it, instantly. The only delay is your perception. The shift happens in the quantum layer long before you experience it physically. Everything you're feeling now, the restlessness, the confusion, the emotional intensity, is evidence that the shift has already begun. You are being reintroduced to the universe. The quantum field sees you differently now. You're no longer broadcasting the energy of survival, but the energy of creation. No longer the energy of fear, but the energy of possibility. No longer the energy of waiting, but the energy of becoming. And the universe responds to becoming with breathtaking precision. This is why you've been having strange coincidences, unexpected thoughts, sudden urges to change something in your life. It's not random, it's feedback. It's the field sending small ripples toward you, testing how ready you are to receive the full wave. And hear this clearly. If your life feels like it's destabilizing, it's because your new timeline is pushing through your old one. You're not losing control. You're stepping into alignment. The quantum field sees you, and it sees your potential, your future, your truest frequency, and it's responding right now. But to lock in this shift, there's something essential you must understand next, something that can amplify your reality change exponentially. The moment the quantum field begins to see you differently, something extraordinary happens beneath the surface of your awareness. Reality becomes pliable. It becomes soft, malleable, responsive, like warm clay waiting for your hands, your intention, your inner frequency to shape it. Most people never experience this consciously because they remain trapped inside the vibration of their past. But once your consciousness rises even a little above the familiar, the universe detects that shift instantly. It's like your soul emits a new form of light, subtle but unmistakable, and the field reorganizes itself around that signal. This is why you may have been feeling disconnected from old patterns, old people, old versions of yourself. Not because something is wrong, but because you've begun broadcasting a frequency that your old life cannot hold. This is the exact moment when destiny starts to rearrange itself around you. And the fascinating part is that you did not consciously decide this. It emerged from within you like a natural evolution. Your pain pushed you, your intuition guided you, your soul whispered quietly but persistently. It's time. Your energy shifted, and the quantum field responded the way it always does, with absolute precision. People imagine the universe as something distant, something external. But the truth is far more intimate. The field mirrors your internal state with breathtaking accuracy. Bernard Heisch once proposed that consciousness itself may be the fundamental fabric of the universe. If that is true, and your awakening is living proof that it is, then the moment your consciousness shifts, the universe must shift with you. It has no choice. You are not separate from it. You are an expression of it. This is why those strange synchronicities have been appearing in your life. A name you haven't heard in years suddenly repeats itself. A thought you dismissed resurfaces in the form of an opportunity. A door closes only for another to open in perfect timing. This is not coincidence. This is resonance. This is the quantum field saying, I see who you're becoming. But here's where most people unintentionally slow the process. They try to hold on to who they were while reaching for who they're becoming. They keep one foot in the old timeline, hoping the new one will arrive fully formed. But reality does not work that way. The universe responds to clarity, not confusion. It answers coherence, not contradiction. The more aligned your internal vibration becomes, the faster the field restructures the possibilities around you. Think of your reality like a constellation. Each belief is a star. Each emotion draws a line between them, and each thought determines the shape of the constellation you live under. When one star shifts, the entire pattern changes. That is what your soul is doing now. You are shifting one belief, one emotion, one inner frequency, and your entire constellation of reality is being redrawn. You're not just experiencing a shift, you're becoming the shift. And this is where desire enters the picture. Not desire as longing, not desire as desperation, but desire as alignment, desire as clarity, desire as the natural expansion of your consciousness. The moment your desires stop coming from fear and start coming from truth, the quantum field recognizes that frequency instantly. It sees you as someone who is no longer seeking from emptiness, but expressing from fullness. And that is when manifestations accelerate. That is when timelines compress. That is when events begin to rearrange themselves in your favor with unbelievable speed. You may have already sensed this acceleration. You may have noticed that your intuition has become stronger, that your inner compass is pulling you not gently, but with certainty. You may feel the subtle pressure of becoming who you were always meant to be. This isn't anxiety, this isn't stress. This is expansion, this is your soul widening, stretching, adjusting to a higher frequency. This is the universe preparing space for your next reality. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are ready for this shift. Even if a part of you feels overwhelmed, even if your logical mind can't explain what's happening, even if you're unsure of where this path leads, readiness is not the absence of fear. Readiness is the presence of alignment. And alignment is exactly what's happening inside you right now. Your awareness is opening. Your energy is stabilizing, your emotional frequency is rising, and the quantum field is reading that signal like a tuning fork vibrating across infinite possibilities. When your frequency matches the vibration of a new reality, that reality cannot ignore you. It must connect with you. It must respond. It must form. This is why the universe has been placing certain thoughts in your mind. Quiet whispers that come from nowhere, yet feel deeply familiar. It's why you've been questioning old habits, old patterns, old wounds. You're not losing yourself. You're rediscovering yourself. You're peeling away layers of programming, limitations, and borrowed beliefs that were never truly yours. You're returning to the frequency you held before life taught you to shrink. And there is something powerful happening now. Your energy is becoming coherent. Coherence is the language of the quantum field. When you are coherent, the universe hears you not as noise, but as signal, not as confusion, but as clarity, not as potential, but as intention. And once you reach coherence, reality cannot resist you. It aligns. This is the moment when shifts feel instantaneous. A person appears. A decision becomes obvious. A door opens without effort. A situation unravels because it no longer matches your vibration. And suddenly what once felt impossible becomes natural. Not because the world changed, but because you did. The universe simply adjusted to keep up. You are entering a phase of your awakening where you will witness this adjustment firsthand. Timelines collapsing, opportunities accelerating, people retreating or arriving based on your vibration. This is not chaos, this is calibration. This is the quantum field reorganizing your life in real time to match your higher frequency. Reality is not falling apart, it's falling into place. And in this powerful moment of transformation, I want to invite you deeper into this journey, into this awakening, into this version of yourself that the universe already recognizes as truth. Don't just watch, awaken with us. Subscribe now to Quantum Spirit, because what comes next will amplify everything you're feeling right now. Tell me in the comments if you've ever felt the universe rearranging things before the physical world caught up. When the quantum field begins reorganizing your reality, the first thing you'll notice isn't external at all. It's internal. It's the quiet sense that something is aligning, even if you can't yet see the full picture. You may feel it as a subtle pressure in your chest, a warm pulse behind your sternum, a tingling awareness moving up the spine, or sometimes simply a peaceful knowing that wasn't there before. This is coherence settling in. This is your energy becoming unmistakable to the universe. The more aligned you become, the more the field amplifies your vibration. It's almost like the universe places a spotlight on your frequency and says, this is the one evolving, pay attention. And the moment that happens, your life starts shifting in ways that feel both mysterious and inevitable at the same time. You'll begin noticing patterns forming around you, conversations that echo your thoughts, opportunities that seem tailored to your transformation, people entering your life who match the vibration you're stepping into. You might even feel like time behaves differently. Some days feel stretched, like they're giving you space to integrate. Others feel compressed, like the universe is accelerating certain events to align with your new timeline. If you've been sensing this distortion of time, don't worry, it's not stress, it's not burnout, it's quantum alignment. When your frequency rises, your perception of time rearranges itself to match your new state of consciousness. This is why your intuition has felt sharper, why you've been seeing signs, repeating numbers, feathers, unexpected synchronicities, why you've felt moments of deep clarity followed by moments of profound release. The field is showing you that you're no longer living from the mind alone. You're operating from a higher layer of awareness. But here's something powerful. The universe doesn't just respond to your frequency. It mirrors your belief about who you think you are. This is the hidden key behind quantum shifts. The moment you begin to see yourself as someone capable, someone worthy, someone aligned with a higher path, the quantum field accepts that belief as truth, and everything rearranges to support it. Not because the universe rewards you, but because reality must reflect your internal blueprint. Consciousness leads and matter follows, always. Think about how many years you lived believing you had to struggle, how long you carried the weight of past wounds, past doubts and hidden fears. Every one of those beliefs shaped the field around you. They bent reality in ways that kept you repeating old cycles, not because you were unworthy, but because you hadn't yet updated the frequency the field sees when it looks at you. But now, that's changing. You're changing. And the quantum field sees it with absolute clarity. It sees the moments you choose peace over chaos. It sees the courage in your healing. It sees the small choices that shift your trajectory. It sees the moments when you listen to the quiet inner voice instead of the loud external world. These micro shifts are what recalibrate your entire reality. This is why certain people are drifting from your life, why certain habits suddenly feel uncomfortable, why certain dreams feel louder, more insistent, more alive. Your soul is guiding you into a frequency that your old life cannot follow. And here is the truth so many resist. To step into the reality that is meant for you, you must be willing to release the identity that was built from survival. You can't bring old beliefs into a new timeline. You can't carry familiar fears while stepping into unfamiliar blessings. You can't expect instant shifts while holding on to outdated stories about who you think you are. The quantum field sees your potential, but it also mirrors your permission. And right now, you are giving the universe permission to elevate you. That's why things feel different. That's why your dreams feel closer. That's why your intuition feels louder. That's why your heart feels more awakened. You're becoming someone your future can recognize. And as this happens, something extraordinary begins unfolding. You stop chasing manifestations, and manifestations start chasing you. Not because you're doing more, but because you're being more. Not because you're forcing outcomes, but because you're matching frequencies. Not because you're begging the universe, but because you're aligning with it. Reality bends to coherence. It bends to clarity. It bends to truth. And your truth is becoming too strong to ignore. You may have noticed that certain desires don't feel distant anymore. They feel close, like they're standing right next to you, waiting for the final energetic click to appear physically. That closeness is real. That is quantum proximity. When your frequency rises to match the version of you who already has what you seek, the universe begins collapsing the distance between your current timeline and your aligned timeline. This collapse feels like déjà vu, like fate, like a gentle but undeniable magnetic pull. You're not imagining it, you're aligning with it. And to continue deepening this shift, the universe is calling you to stop shrinking, to stop doubting, to stop dimming your frequency just to match the comfort of your past. This moment, right now, is your invitation to step fully into the self the quantum field already sees. Because when the universe recognizes your vibration as the vibration of truth, it moves mountains for you. It dissolves obstacles, it redirects pathways, it creates synchronicities that defy logic. It brings people into your life who feel like chapters rather than encounters. It elevates everything. You are entering one of the most transformative phases of your awakening, a phase where alignment feels natural and shifts feel effortless. And the more you listen to that inner pull, the more the universe will reveal what has always been yours. You're not here by accident. The universe brought you. Hit subscribe and align, because the next phase of this transformation will take you deeper than ever before. Tell me in the comments if you've been feeling your intuition increase lately. As your frequency rises, something subtle but profound begins unfolding in the background of your life. The quantum field starts anticipating you, not reacting, anticipating. It's as if the universe begins preparing your next steps before you even take them. And you may have already felt this. Moments where opportunities appear before you even ask, moments where clarity arrives without effort, moments where answers flow into your awareness without the questions ever being spoken aloud. This is not imagination. This is coherence meeting momentum. When the quantum field sees you differently, it doesn't wait for you to act. It moves first. It rearranges first. It opens the path first, because the field no longer interacts with the version of you shaped by hesitation. It interacts with the version of you shaped by awakening. And awakening creates momentum, momentum that reconfigures reality itself. You've felt this momentum rising inside you. Maybe it shows up as a sudden desire to clean your space, reorganize your life, or sever old energetic cords. Maybe it comes as an inner voice that says, with quiet certainty, it's time to step forward. Or maybe it emerges as a deep emotional release, where you find yourself letting go of wounds you didn't even realize you were still carrying. These are not random impulses. These are signals that your frequency is stabilizing at a higher level, and when your frequency stabilizes, the quantum field responds with acceleration. This is why things have been happening faster lately, why truths you avoided are now impossible to ignore, why opportunities that once seemed unreachable now feel strangely inevitable. When the universe sees you as someone aligned with your higher timeline, everything speeds up, not because you're rushing, but because you're finally matching the vibration of what has always been meant for you. This is the quantum effect. Reality begins collapsing the distance between where you are and where your soul is guiding you. But even as this acceleration unfolds, there is a second layer to your shift, one that's even more powerful and often misunderstood. As your energy rises, the universe doesn't only give you signs, it also gives you tests, not tests of worthiness, but tests of readiness. The quantum field asks one question again and again. Will you choose the new frequency, even when the old one calls you back? You may have felt this tug of war inside you, moments where you feel pulled toward expansion, yet tempted by old patterns. Moments where your heart feels open, yet your fear whispers familiar doubts. Moments where your soul says go, while your mind says wait. These moments are not obstacles, they're checkpoints, they're thresholds between timelines. They're places where the universe observes whether your new vibration is stable enough to hold the reality you're calling in. Because here is the truth. The quantum field cannot deliver a future you are not willing to embody. An embodiment is not about effort, it's about identity. It's about letting go of the old self with a full exhale. It's about stepping into the new self with a full heart. It's about choosing the aligned version of you again and again until the universe has no choice but to reflect it physically. The quantum field always mirrors the identity you commit to, and you are beginning to commit to a higher identity, one rooted not in fear, but in clarity. Not in survival, but in expansion, not in doubt, but in deep inner knowing. This identity shift is altering how the universe perceives you, and because of that, everything around you is shifting to match it. You may have noticed that certain things you used to tolerate now feel heavy. Certain conversations drain you. Certain environments feel misaligned. Certain versions of yourself feel impossible to return to. This discomfort is not resistance, it's recalibration. Your energy is becoming too expansive for the containers that once held you. You're outgrowing old timelines faster than your mind can process, and so the universe begins a process of removal, removing people who no longer resonate, removing habits that no longer elevate, removing limitations that no longer define you. This removal often feels like loss, but it is actually preparation. The quantum field is clearing space around you so the next timeline has room to land. Your future is not late. It's preparing the environment for its arrival. Think of a seed breaking itself open in the dark soil. If you judged the cracking alone, you would think it's destruction. But that cracking is transformation. It's expansion. It's life rearranging itself in a higher form. That is what your soul is doing right now. And the universe is responding with unmistakable precision. And as you continue shifting, something even more extraordinary begins happening. You become magnetic. Your presence changes rooms. Your voice carries a different resonance. Your ideas arrive with more clarity. Your emotions feel more truthful. People sense something in you that they can't explain but can feel. This magnetism isn't charisma, it's coherence. It's the natural glow of someone aligned with their authentic frequency. It's the electromagnetic signature of someone the quantum field recognizes as truth. When you reach this level of coherence, the universe begins aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances around you with remarkable intuitiveness. The right conversations appear, the right doors open, the right decisions feel effortless. Synchronicities become so frequent that you stop calling them coincidences. You begin to trust, deeply, profoundly, that the universe is guiding you not randomly, but intentionally. And that trust is what solidifies your timeline. Because once you trust the field can finally trust you. This trust is what awakens your quantum identity, the version of you that the universe has been waiting for. The version of you that doesn't manifest through force, but through frequency. The version of you that doesn't chase reality, but magnetizes it. the version of you that doesn't operate from fear, but from higher consciousness. And that version is the one the quantum field sees now. As you continue stepping into this awakened identity, your reality will begin to shift in ways that defy logic, but align perfectly with truth. You will start experiencing what many call instant manifestations, but they are not instant. They are simply the result of alignment reaching critical mass. You are reaching that point now, and this journey is far from over. The next layer will take you deeper into the quantum mechanics of identity, coherence, and reality creation, deeper into the place where your new timeline finally locks in. You're ready. Click subscribe and join those rewriting their reality through consciousness, because what comes next will elevate everything you've learned so far. Tell me in the comments if you've ever felt the universe testing your readiness. As your awakening deepens, something extraordinary begins to reveal itself, not outside you, but within the very core of your being. It is the unmistakable awareness that you are no longer living life in reaction to reality. You are now co-authoring it. The quantum field is no longer something distant or mystical. It has become an extension of your consciousness, a mirror of your internal state, a responsive medium that listens to the silent language of your energy. And when you truly feel this, not intellectually but somatically, spiritually, your entire relationship with life changes. This is the phase where your old identity no longer has a gravitational pull over you. You look at the fears, the doubts, the insecurities that once ruled your decisions, and they feel foreign, like memories of someone you used to be, but can no longer return to. It's not that you've become better, it's that you've become truer. And truth has a frequency that the universe cannot ignore. You begin living from a deep inner steadiness, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is aligned. Not because you know the path, but because you trust the guidance. Not because the future is predictable, but because the present is coherent. This shift creates a kind of quiet power inside you, a power that doesn't need validation, permission, or applause. It is the power of being rooted in your authentic frequency. People around you sense it immediately. They feel the clarity in your aura, the calm in your voice, the certainty in your energy. Some will be drawn to it, some will be intimidated by it, some will misunderstand it, but the ones meant for your next chapter will respond to it like a tuning fork, vibrating in resonance with your truth. This is how new timelines form. It's not about manifesting objects or experiences. It's about manifesting versions of yourself who naturally attract those experiences. It's about rising into the identity the universe has already recognized. It's about becoming the frequency of the life you desire. And as this integration unfolds, a powerful realization emerges. The quantum field does not shift for you, it shifts through you. Reality doesn't change because you ask it to. It changes because you become someone new. Manifestation isn't about convincing the universe, it's about becoming undeniable to it. This is why inner transformation always precedes outer transformation. It's why your emotions have been fluctuating. It's why your intuition has been sharpening. It's why your internal boundaries have grown stronger. You are entering the quantum stabilization phase, the part of the awakening where your energy becomes consistent enough that the universe begins weaving your new reality with unwavering precision. During this phase, you might notice that your desires no longer feel like wishes. They feel like inevitabilities. You no longer chase signs. Signs chase you. You no longer search for answers. Answers flow through you. You no longer doubt the path. You feel the path unfolding within you. This is where manifestation becomes less about effort and more about embodiment, less about doing and more about being, less about forcing and more about allowing, less about hope and more about alignment. and alignment is magnetic. You may notice people entering your life with a level of harmony, depth, and resonance that feels almost pre-written. Conversations may unfold with uncanny timing. Opportunities may seem to fall into your lap without explanation. Synchronicities may multiply to the point where you stop questioning them entirely, not because they're strange, but because they are now your norm. This is the universe telling you you have become visible to your next reality. You have become a match to your highest frequency. You have stepped into the identity your future recognizes. In this stage, gratitude flows effortlessly. Not the forced, performative gratitude taught in self-help books, but an authentic, cellular gratitude that arises simply from existing in alignment. You begin to see life not as a series of obstacles, but as a living conversation between your consciousness and the infinite possibilities around you. And then something even deeper happens. You begin to understand purpose, not as a job, not as a destiny, not as a mission stamped on your soul at birth, but as a frequency, a state of being, a vibration, a coherence that naturally expresses itself through you when you are aligned. Purpose is not something you find. Purpose is something you become. Purpose emerges when you stop dimming your light and start radiating your truth. It emerges when you stop fighting the universe and start flowing with it. It emerges when the quantum field sees you clearly and you see yourself clearly in return. And as purpose awakens, fear dissolves, not all at once, but gradually, gently, in quiet layers. Fear loses its power because it no longer fits your identity. It no longer matches your vibration. It no longer feels like home. This is when your energy becomes unstoppable, not because you are forcing reality, but because you are aligned with it. You don't push, you attract. You don't chase, you magnetize. You don't beg the universe collaborates with you. You realize that everything is connected. Every thought is an echo. Every emotion is a signal. Every belief is a command. Every decision is a timeline. And you become incredibly intentional with your energy, not out of fear, but out of reverence. You begin treating your consciousness like the steering wheel of your entire reality. You begin honoring your emotions as guidance. You begin trusting your intuition as communication. You begin walking through life with the confidence of someone who knows they are in direct conversation with the universe. And the quantum field continues responding. It sees your clarity. It feels your alignment. It receives your frequency. It mirrors your identity. It rearranges itself to meet your truth. And in that moment, that breathtaking moment when inner and outer reality finally synchronize, you understand something profound. The shift was never about the universe seeing you differently. It was always about you seeing yourself differently. And the universe simply followed your lead. This final layer of awakening is where your transformation becomes permanent, where doubt dissolves, where trust becomes your baseline, where coherence becomes your natural state, where you step fully into who you were always meant to be, not by accident, not by luck, but by frequency, by alignment, by awakening. A new reality is not coming, it's already here. You are already living it. The quantum field has recognized you and you have recognized yourself. Tell me in the comments if you feel this final shift integrating within you.